The Judean wilderness is a landscape of baked rock and deep ravines. It is a place of absolute isolation, where survival is a daily struggle. Contrast this with the center of national power. King Saul resides in a gilded palace, commanding an elite army and controlling the nation's wealth. From the outside, this looks like the ultimate fortress of security. But the structure is rotting. Saul is consumed by a paranoid jealousy that is destroying his judgment. This is the reality of unchecked sin. It devours a leader's conscience, turning a stable regime into a volatile trap for everyone inside. Meanwhile, David, the man actually anointed to lead, is living as a fugitive. He is hiding in the damp, claustrophobic darkness of a place called the Cave of Adullam. This creates a sharp tension. When a nation is in crisis, human instinct says to seek shelter behind the highest walls and the most established systems.
But looking at these two men, we have to ask, is safety found in the palace or in the cave? Worldly power often projects an image of total control, but when that power is disconnected from its divine source, those fortifications become the most dangerous places on earth. This map of tribal regions shows the sacred centers sitting close to the halls of power. Near the capital was the city of Nob, but that proximity proved fatal. Saul, paranoid of conspiracy, orders the unthinkable, the execution of 85 priests. In silent defiance, Saul's own soldiers refuse to draw their swords against the priests. Their conscience acts as a temporary barrier, showing how the Holy Spirit restrains a king's madness through the moral compass of ordinary men. But where the soldiers refuse, an opportunist named Doeg steps forward. He is a man looking to climb the social ladder, and he carries out the slaughter with clinical efficiency. Doeg's actions reveal the nature of a corrupted institution. Once the palace loses its moral core, it will actively seek to destroy any sacred system that it cannot use for its own survival. The massacre at Nob demonstrates a harsh truth. Once a system is compromised by sin, it can no longer offer protection to the faithful. The establishment has become the enemy. While the capital is stained with blood, the scene shifts to the silence and darkness of Adullam. David is hidden deep within the rock. He is soon joined by a group of 400 men. They aren't soldiers. They are the people the world had no use for, those who were crushed by debt, drowning in distress, and bitter with discontent. These misfits represent the reality of humanity under the weight of an oppressive world. They arrive with nothing but their brokenness and their need for a leader who isn't trying to exploit them. Then Abiathar arrives, the sole survivor of the Nob massacre. He reaches the cave exhausted, carrying the weight of his slaughtered family. David takes full responsibility for the tragedy and offers Abiathar a place of absolute safety. He promises that anyone seeking to kill the priest must go through the king first. When Abiathar escaped to the cave, he brought the ephod, the physical means of hearing God. This meant Saul was left with a crown and a palace, but David now held the only man on earth who could speak for the divine. The spiritual center of the nation had moved from the palace to the cave. The organization of the cave offers a different model for a kingdom. While the palace is a rigid pyramid of status and power, the cave functions as a hub where every individual, no matter how fractured, is connected directly to the person of the king. This new structure doesn't rely on the elite. It is built entirely using the materials the world discarded, the bankrupt and the distressed. In this kingdom, weakness isn't a disqualifier, it's the requirement for entry. In this way, David points us towards Jesus Christ. He is the true anointed king standing in the center of the darkness, calling the weary and heavily burdened to find a home with him. The debts and the distress that drove those men into the cave are still with us today. We all face pressures that make us feel like outcasts in our own lives. Our instinct is to fix our own problems, or to find a modern palace, like chasing wealth, building a career, or social standing. We think that if we can just build our walls high enough, we'll be safe. But true safety requires us to abandon our reliance on our own merit. It means dropping our pride and running to hide under the covering of the king.
just as those 400 did in Adullam.